Okay, so we're also playing Raven Eagle in this deck because I think it's better with the airships, which is part of the reason why I want to play this build next instead of jamming more Yogg. Although I do want to play more Yogg. So we've done a lot of airshipping. We've played the mid-range controlling Beseech build. I think that the build is okay. Obviously, Soul Trader has gone super well. I think the Yawgmoth build looks great. But one thing we haven't done until now is play this build on stream. I played it a little bit off stream. Just Mono Black K command with airship. We have played a lot of the Mono Black K command archetype in general. It's been very good for us over the course of several different metagames. One thing that I love about this shell is that in the past, one problem with K command is you didn't have a big thing to dig for to go over the top with. We tried at one point anti-causal vestige. I thought about playing that with airship, but the problem is the vestige goes warping is not sacrifice, so you don't get to go vestige, put airship into play. It's also on instep, so it puts into play instep, so you don't get the trigger immediately, which is the problem. But like also getting this vestige off this wasn't that big a deal. But now you can start digging for airship to just to have a degree of inevitability in the late game. I'm really excited for. In addition to having a really good, nice interactive early game. So we're also playing Raven Eagle, which is kind of like a graveyard trespasser. Enters, exile one card from a graveyard. If it's a creature card, you get a clue token. So this is a nice source of card advantage that also can give you recurring ways to trigger your airships. Just leave the clue tokens in play. You also get to drain your opponent for 1 when you draw your second card. So this can also trigger off Bauble, Vexing Bauble, K command. Kind of minor. Cling to Dust. Let's see. Also, it's just good to be bowmastering these days, I think. Like trying to find the best bowmaster deck is a big priority. Maybe that's the Soul Trader airship deck though. Maybe I'm underrating Eternal Command a little bit, but did we try to mash up Devoted Druid and Brood-Scale with the unban of Green Sun Zenith? Both works nice in an Urza Saga / Cauldron. Or is it too much of the same? Well, I think it's too much of Devoted Druid is kind of bad. Well, Brood-Scale is kind of good, but it's possible that you could play both. Oh, I didn't know it was a Shota brew. This definitely seems like a Shota deck. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and cycle the Cling. We have a lot of answers to Flage. Kind of interested in holding this for the airship turn. The tournament game was a fun deck to play, though. I mean, that's kind of the entire point I'm making, too. Oh, we might get... do I need to start playing around Mana Tithe? I've been Mana Tithed a few times by Boros lately. But that's kind of my exact point. It's like... Eternal Command is this sweet deck that people remember really fondly, but I just don't think it was actually a popular deck. Or like, sorry, a competitive deck. Maybe it was. They play 2 now. It's pretty cool. Play the 8 fire deck with 4 FOMO 3 Splinter Twin. Call it Wild Twin. We have played FOMO Splinter Twin in Mono Red before. Honestly, I do just think the Avatar, the Legend of Roku, was the way to go. I think that deck's pretty good. Did you explore if there's any new potential iteration of Lantern Control by any chance? So we had Lantern Control is not a deck I love to brew with. I think the normal Lantern Control builds are pretty dead. They're just so weak to so many cards that didn't exist in the past, like Prismatic Ending, Beseiju, Karn the Great Creator, Wrath the Skies. You know, there's just so many more like annoying cards to deal with than there used to be. That being said, I did have one Lantern Control deck I thought was kind of interesting. I was playing Beseech the Mirror alongside this lets me deal with the Flage. Let me see what they're drawing. I can Cling to Dust if I want to. They're drawing into Johnny. Let's get the airship down here. So like I had Besiege the Mirror with Lantern Control, which I thought was kind of cool, where you would Besiege the Mirror into Restore Balance, and your Lantern Control game plan played really well alongside Balance. because they're all just artifacts that don't get balanced away. And then after you balanced, then you can Lantern Control to stop your opponent from drawing out of it. And so I thought that build was pretty cool. It was certainly like bad against counter magic, but there isn't a lot of counter magic in the format right now. It could be an okay time to return to that shell, and maybe Airship is a card you can play in that kind of deck, and maybe not. I'm going to try and besiege Phoenix Fleet in a repurposing base shell. It's been interesting. I don't know if it's better than a Phyrexian Tower shell. You could also play Phyrexian Tower in that kind of deck. Thank you, Neo. So I draw a Raven Eagle. Next turn, I'll exile the Flage with that. Does seem that we're going to get hit by Ragavan for a turn. It's okay, I guess. The new, to me, parentheses, 3-mana Urza sounds like I fitted some Lantern Shell. Are you talking about like the red-green card? Notably, Eagle better than Trespasser here because it's going to give me a way to turn on the airships next turn. Do you think the mono red Roku deck can be a solid choice for a final modern? I guess I don't know what you mean by final modern, but yeah, I think you could. I think if you could play that for a while, and there's a chance that it would be a good choice for a big tournament. I thought the deck was really good. One that I would be interested in continuing to work on, and likely will. Yeah. Overall good deck. So they hit their own copy of Raven Eagle here. They also have an Ajani in their hand, and they've got 2 mystery cards. Glint with 8 months, welcome back. Eagle worse than Trespasser here because it gives them a card. Fair. Although we'll see if they play it. Is it possible to have a good Boros matchup and a good Titan matchup? You can play Gorios with a bunch of subtleties. It's kind of like the first thing that comes to mind. Raven Eagle, take it over modern. Or maybe more accurately, good on at least one turn so far. Raven Eagle leading the Phoenix Fleet airships here. Ragavan attack big treasure sack for airship. Ooh. Yeah, Ragavan Phyrexian Tower airships is kind of something, huh? Airship just goes in so many different shells. It's like it's like the new Quantum Riddler almost, where it just goes in every deck. There's an Arena of Glory. There's an Ocelot Pride. Wait, did they not make a clue token last turn? It just kind of said one airship getting removed under creatures anymore. Well, no, we get to crew 4 airships if they remove one. And then next turn we'll get 7 more. Oh, they hit the Cling, I see. Right, I guess we'll not block. So even if they drew a removal spell, we'd still have 4 blockers this turn. Do you think airship is a staple in Karn boards? I guess I can't think of a lot of if you could cast double black mana, then sure. But like I guess I don't know if you want to play like Cabal Coffers airship or something like that. Doesn't sound like the worst idea. Well, can we play around? Let me see what I draw off the Vexing Bauble. We might be able to actually play around Galvanic Discharge. So probably not. Because we can crew 4 airships in response to a discharge if we attack. Right, but let's just attack with everything. We'll have infinite blockers, you know. So they did draw the discharge off the Seasoned Pyromancer. But yeah, it seems like that would be the wrong time. Actually, they might just be bluffing. It really doesn't matter. Okay, they're just bluffing. Not that we ever don't attack here, because we get 7 more blockers end of turn. I guess they have 8 attackers. Right, they're at -12. I don't think the Eagle is great against them, although it does get rid of Flage. This is probably the Cyberplank got the Seers and the Edicts for the Damnations and the Explosives. Wait, sorry. I thought and also the Vexing Baubles. And then bring in this. So -2 Seers, -1 Edict, -2 Baubles, +1 Trespasser, 2 Explosives, 2 Damnation. Good at their red source pre-combat. That's true, yeah. Ego proved this worth this game. It was definitely really important that it came down and gave the clue. If you remove Eagle, lose the Flage. Well, we also have K command, the extra Trespasser, and the Cling. But I agree. It seems like we want to keep the Eagles in. They just like are clearly worse in this matchup than Trespasser is, but they might be better overall, and they also have more synergy with Airship. What do you think of trying to kick a Turok turn 2 in the mono black shell? I mean, it'll be good when you do that. I do think that, you know, Turok's a card that used to be pretty good at Modern when Luris was legal, and it's been fringe playable at best since then. Kind of a tempting hand. Yeah, like having to go to 5, I'd just rather keep that 7. I think I will keep the K command and try to draw a temple on the Mold 5. Turok probably decent versus white decks. I agree, although like just Quantum Riddler is just so good against Turok. I probably think I wouldn't be too excited to play it. All right, I got a guide. We're on the draw. Mulling to 5 against Boros isn't usually the best formula. Although I will say one thing that's always very interesting to me about this mono black K command shell is that this shell always does seem to do pretty good against Boros. Notably, Boros has no creatures with flying. Well, it's got the Guide of Souls. Crusader against Boros. I don't actually know how good Crusader is against Boros. Like, you have to survive for 5 turns against Boros, and you have to do it in a game where you cast like a 3-mana card that blocks for 1 turn and then does nothing else. It's like good at multiples, maybe. It's like it's certainly interesting. Like, it certainly can be. Certainly can be good. We'll be watching Worlds. I'll probably have it like on my phone while I'm at the gym today. I'm probably gonna watch the Mavs versus the Thunder. I've been kind of getting hyped about the Mavs again, y'all. I think Meathook Massacre could be good in some version of Yager Brood Scale with Boros back at high numbers. I mean, I mostly think that Culling Ritual is better. So yeah, I'm mostly a Culling Ritual fan. So they don't have their 3rd mana. I think they're a bit too likely to have Discharge. My K command is really telegraphed. I think I'm okay. I think I just want to wait so I can get rid of the Ajani at instant speed. Yeah, Nico got fired, which is exciting, and then like Cooper is like having like the best rookie season of all time in a lot of ways of any player in history, which is interesting, which is sick. And then this other rookie who's like 5'11", Nimhard, Nimbinyama has also been like performing really, really well. So I don't know. I'm getting kind of hyped. When was Nico fired? It was a little while ago. I can't remember exactly the timeline. And then Anthony Davis is looking really good. Like I think he's finally like found his groove with the Mavs. At some point, if Kyrie ever comes back, which I kind of don't necessarily think he will. I'm kind of doomer on Kyrie to some extent, but if he does ever come back, like the team could just be kind of good. Do I have to take Flage and then Trespass? If I take any other card, my opponent can. I guess I could also K command. Yeah, I guess we just Trespass. It stinks to not be able to Bowmaster pre-Fable discard though. Clay, yeah, Clay's not performing super well. He's had some better games. Discard 2 Raven Charms. Discard Arid Mace. So the last card is just a Static Prison, which isn't particularly good against my hand. I think we're pretty ahead here. We get to go Bowmaster trade for both their cards, and then try to save the K command for the flip Fable. Yeah, so we'll go ahead and play the Nethergoyf, and this will be, I think, a nice way to like make them static prison, and we might get the Goyf back because this game should go long, unless they surveil Flage into the yard. Though we'll have to pivot to K command, but then my Bowmaster plan's slower, take more damage. Came to ship for Phoenix Light Airship Supremacy, stayed for the Mavs propaganda. Hell yeah. I don't know. I've been watching them since I'm a little kid. I've been trying to tell myself, I'm a fan of specific players. I'm not a fan of a team, but it just feels good to see the Mavs healing. So they did top deck a spell, not a great spell, but a reasonable one. This was a mull to 5 on the draw against a 7-card Boros hand. Yeah, I did hear about there's a teenager who talked with the owner right before Nico's fired. I do kind of believe the conspiracy that played a part. So we're getting this in 2 turns. We draw a Bowmaster, which doesn't do a lot on this board, huh? Yeah, I think I'm going to commit to taking another hit from the voice. I did draw 2 K commands, but I mean, you gotta have some good cards in your decks. Did we try the Yawgmoth? So the Yawgmoth is a brew from Monday that went well, that I also played in a last trades qualifier that I went 2-1 in. I think the deck's really, really good. I've been trying to save it for more challenges, but the challenge didn't fire today. Maybe Monday. Well, thank you, K Command, for triple time walk here. Although I do draw another land, 4 lands in a row there. Maybe Bipoda will draw a land. So I'm going down to 4. I guess it's kind of a tough spot, huh? Just not able to cast the Airship, and I don't even know if that I necessarily would want to. I think I'm just going to be playing out the Bowmaster here, but might need a top deck. I think it's important to kill the field too. We do have the Goyf coming down next turn. They got 2 cards in their hand. They surveil looking for a Flage. They don't find it. They put an Arid Mason to the graveyard. So next turn we'll have 3 blockers for their 3 attackers. There's not a big difference between being at like 1 through 3 is pretty close to the same life total here. We're dead to Flage either way. We're dead to Bombardment either way. So I think it's okay to go down here. Okay, big draw. If their last we are dead to Flage. We are dead to Flage if they top deck it. We could try. I guess we can't. I guess the one difference is not being able to fetch if we draw it. I'll go ahead and gain the 3. This means I'm not dead to a Bombardment top deck. So is their last card a Thraben Charm? Seems like it could be. I think I'm still playing the Airship here. Thraben Charm's a card that makes some sense that they'd want to save to exile my graveyard after that get the Goyf back. But I still have a pretty good blocks against this attack. Maybe they're just thinking, right? But right, no attacks. So we get another Airship. Am I dead to Bombardment if I gain 3 life? I'll be at 7. It looks like I'm super dead to Bombardment still. So let's go ahead and Draw a card. 1, 2 lands gone. One of my 2K commands. One of my 2 baubles. One of my 2 creatures, I guess. Okay, so next turn we can use that to kill the Johnny token, the treasure tokens. Oh, notably, we're not dead to Flage necessarily, because they don't have the 7 mana anymore. I thought they had one more basic. So that this means one of the last cards is mounted. Okay, yeah, there's the mountain. So now dead to Flage again. Okay, so and now they're attacking. I mean, we're dead to Flage or Bombardment anyways. It seems like I want to take the hit from the cat. If I block like this, I'm also not dead to discharge on the cat because they won't have any red permanents in play. So back down to 2 life. Okay. Interesting. Raven Eagle is interesting too. So I could explosives on 1 instead of explosives on 0. If I explosives on 0, I am putting myself in a spot where I beat a top deck Flage because they won't be able to play an escape and I can cling to dust to gain life. So I think that that's going to be moved. So we'll go and crew here. Explosives on 0. Sacrifice explosives. Die. And then we'll see if they want to flip the Ajani. So they don't flip the Ajani, predictably. We'll go ahead and attack with this airship. I guess we could have gone in with everything and then forced a chump block, but then they would have flipped the Ajani. Voice with airship. Yeah, I had it in my Orzhov airship build that didn't end up performing really well. And Johnny Big May is so weird. Yeah, there's a lot of MH3 cards that are just like, how did every possible thing go its way? Back in it. That was a mold to 5. You know, like it's always been one of the most interesting things about this mono black shell. It's just good against Boros. You would not really think it. Pretty good hand. Put it on a mold to 6. So they're playing Innkeeper, so maybe not playing Airship because it won't be our build. Seems like I want to take the Cauldron, and then we should be able to sear the Yogg. So the Gristed Sword aren't that playable for MH3 Footwalkers. Yeah, that's true. We finally found like our best sword shell was the Relic of Legends humans build. It was actually pretty good in that deck. I feel like I'm just gonna Incept Bowmaster a little bit. I don't do this very often. Is Airship powerful enough to justify Trash for Treasure? Well, the thing is, Trash for Treasure is good at getting 7, 8 mana cards into play. Like, you just cast Airship on turn 2. You don't need to, like, set up for it. Is the Cub the fair green card? Green is needed. It does incentivize you to play more linear strategies, but it's good. It's also like a card. It's definitely a card that's really good with Nantuko, and Nantuko is like one of the most powerful green cards that doesn't have a lot to pair with it, and I've definitely liked it a lot with Cub. Although I don't know that it's going to be a mainstay in some of these builds. All right, so the hand is Windswept Teeth, Badgermole Cub, Dryad Arbor. What do you think about Lobella and the more control-y mono black shell of Airship? Dude, I don't know what I'll read Lobella. If there's a card in chat that's legal and modern and I don't know it, I'll read it. There's 2 Lobellas. Exile target creature card from opponent's graveyard. Put there from the battle for this turn. They make X treasure tokens. X is this card. Exile's card power. Seems pretty hard to make work. My opponent says epic fun. Is this after I Thought-Knot Seered them? I'll just hit him with a smiley face. Yeah, I don't know. This card doesn't seem great to me. So they play Heath instead of Dryad Arbor. What does that mean? They're just trying to surveil because they didn't draw anything? I think that's probably what this means. Let's go ahead and play an Airship this turn. Probably should be attacking also. Imagine getting the front half of Flage. That card is pretty cool against Flage. You just have to be able to play. I wonder what my opponent's reaction to Labelle would be. They'd probably say, epic fun. Smiley face. There's a Young Wolf. I think the last card's probably a land. They're erasing. We draw another K command. So why don't we... make 2 spawns, exile the cub. Play a Raven Eagle, although we don't have a creature to exile at the moment. We have triggered the sacrifice clause. Oh, it was almost a disaster. I'm brewing Airship with Beseeching card to have more turn 3 Airship. Is Karn too slow, or having to pay the 4 mana twice? Well, I think that's just too many 4-drops. Like to have 12 4-drops or 11 4-drops, I guess, if you're having one for Karn. Seems like I would just stick to 2 of those. If opponent is sarcastic, the smiley face seems like Mega BM. Well, if my opponent's being sarcastic at the chat, and I hit him with a, surely this isn't a Mega BM to smiley face. I hope they're not being rude. All right, let's go for lethal here. Biznez with 39. Thank you. Welcome back. Seer is pretty slow on the draw. Don't think I'm playing Ashiok. You know, everyone goes, Ashiok so good against Yogg, but they don't play Corticolic a lot of the time anymore. It gets attacked pretty hard. I don't really think it is. Explosives, probably not coming in. Maybe I just need to play the Edicts. For what it's worth, I'm not above, including some salt. Yeah, I just think Mega BM. Surely it's not how I describe. Hit him with a smiley face here. Actually, we'll play like 1 Seer over Raven Eagle 3. Yeah, everyone always goes, Ashiok's good against Yawgmoth, but no one ever says why it's good against Yawgmoth. I think it's just not. All right, keeping this in the draw against Yogg. Oh, epic fun. Epic fun. They do take they take my epic fun here. Yeah, I was worried about Cauldron. I was hoping the Thoughtseize would be able to take it. It'd be a tough one. Graveyard's a Blood Artist, so they can't combo me anymore. They might have their own Bowmaster. That'd be kind of bad. It's about leaving out Tower. I had it in a draft of the build, and then I ended up cutting it. And I'm going to be honest, I was looking at the deck today, and I'm like, I can't really remember why I cut it. I just remember that I did. Maybe they're having so much fun, we're just being malicious. I'm not being malicious. I think they might having fun. I agree. I don't know why they said that, but I'm not. I'm not trying to roast my opponent. I'm trying to have some epic fun myself. Yeah, like it doesn't tap for black by itself, right? So like it's really important that in a deck with Nethergoyf and Thoughtseize and Fatal Push, it just taps for black by itself. It seems like Tower is mostly good with Bowmaster, but maybe the first copy is still good. It does tap for colorless. I was memeing. I see. Well, fair enough. Maybe they have Court of Calling. Probably just hold up mana since I can't trigger the airship here. In Eternal Durdles, I don't know, the Exit podcast, they were talking about Eternal Weekend. They mentioned he wished we didn't go to turns at the end of paper match clocks. What do you think? The round shouldn't end? Of course not. You have to be respectful of other people's times who have dedicated their day to go play an event. Matches. I, aspiring Spike, think rounds should end at some point. I have places to be, you know. Kind of a fun interaction where I get to Bowmaster the Young Wolf, and they could save the Young Wolf with the Cauldron, but then it would have a counter on it, and I could just push it anyways. I have the brave stance that time is finite. Time is. I think it's finite. Like my perception as a being on this plane of existence. I might look like an idiot one day when my consciousness transcends to a higher plane of being and I find out time is infinite. I'll look like a freaking idiot, but until then, I think time clocks, round clocks, and Magic should have an end at some point. Man, I'm gonna be so embarrassed when Zognu, the immortal entity who controls the passage of time on our plane, shows me the world clock. That was all off the cuff, by the way. All right, opponent's down to 8 life. What's this 3 orc? No, please. You have 2 more in hand. 3 more. So you're just having some epic fun bantering with our opponent here. Spike's no Church of Scientology. I just made that. I don't know how close it is to Scientology beliefs. I'm trying to start my own cult. I just need to figure out how to infuse cryptocurrency with cults, and I'll really be off to the races. Secure your soul on the blockchain. clip that, and then when someone actually does that, I feel like surely someone's gonna secure some boomer soul on the blockchain at some point. It's already cult. Ooh, dang! I'm late to the game. Then I'm late. Literally Black Mirror episode. Oh right, I remember everyone was like this. I remember the episode you're talking about, and everyone's like, "This episode is so good, it's great." It got overhyped for me. I thought it was kind of boring. I think normal games also just draw on paper more often because things get weird and things take a long time. Okay, let's keep this. Let's probably put back the Thoughtseize. Oh, sorry, not the Thought-Knot Seer, not the Thoughtseize. Could be right to lead on the Vexing Bauble just in case their affinity. Also, if they're like prowess or just any Mishra's Bauble deck, the Vexing Bauble is better. Ah, they revealed Devour of Destiny, so let's play the Thoughtseize. Mine Tower Power Plant. Well, all of the Urza Saga truthers are crying, weeping at how wrong they are, begging for forgiveness. I'll take the K command. How has Raven Eagle been compared to Trespasser? The ward is probably the most major downside. The drain is also like a bit easier to get off the Trespasser immediately. Trespasser flips, which is good. But the Eagle, we did win, I think, one game because Eagle gave us a clue token to trigger Airship. So that was nice. So certainly pros and cons to both. It's very hard to say. Let's go ahead and not show the Field of Ruin yet. But I might draw Mishra's Bauble, so just go ahead and crack main phase. Pretty minor, obviously. I think it could work to have both 5 turns or 15 minutes, whichever comes first. Yeah, I think that's kind of an interesting thought. There are definitely I think the players who like, okay, it's 5 turns each, we can take like 30 minutes here. I think that's probably disrespectful to other people's times. Probably playing a Chalice here, right? Interesting. Okay, I guess that's why. Oh no, they just have Tron again. Now I'm weeping and crying. It was better to main phase because they can use the mana on the map. The repurposing by Airship I mentioned, I have a 1 of World Waker Helm, which has helped me not run into situations where I can't sack something. I'll take a read for a World Waker Helm. If you would create 1 or more artifact tokens, instead make that many tokens plus additional map tokens. It seems pretty weak. It is nice to have the juice with the bay. Card quality, pretty dang low. Okay, well, it's possibly correct to try to K-command and dig for a Thoughtseize for the Chalice, but I think we'll try to find a Field of Ruin and hope they didn't find the map plus a payoff. That's not just this Devourer of Destiny. You know, we do have our 1 of Sheoldred's Edict, funny enough. Do I want to go Bowmaster? Because like I do get to trigger. No, if I go Bowmaster, their Chalice can kill the Bowmaster. I guess I could go Edict into Bowmaster. Maybe they'll Chalice on 2 though. It makes a token for each airship trigger and copies. I don't know. This card costs 3 mana, and all it does is shit maps into play, but and it doesn't even do that well either. So I don't know. I'm not super sold on the card, but it could be better than I think. Somehow this Ugin did very little. Gonna say, oh, I think, yeah, I guess they would have had to already choose the target. So they do have a Devourer in their hand, and then they've got 2 other cards. I'm gonna go main phase K-command, trying to dig for a Field of Ruin. Only have 3 left in the deck, though. Not really trying to play one of these into the Devourer, though. No thanks, no thanks, no thanks. Ah, 1 mana short of seeing. Have any of these mono black lists tried Soulstone out as one of? I have played Soulstone a couple times, yeah. It's like, it's really kind of whatever. It's like a talisman that has some slight upgrade upside in the late game, and you don't deal damage for yourself. In fact, in this deck, a talisman is probably better because it helps tap for K command. So, it might be okay to play them, but it's not really that exciting. So they have this Devourer, 2 mystery cards. They are tapping 8 or 9 mana. Ah, their draws are so good. Let's go to game 2. Too late in the day to sit and watch a K command resolve. So down a game, we do have 4 Break the Ices again to bring in. In come these, out come 4 Fatal Push. Out come the Vexing Baubles. In come the rest of the Edicts and the other Seer. And then I think down an Eagle was the sideboard plan. I think Trespasser also just attacks for more hard to get creatures in the yard in this matchup. it being legendary is pretty bad. Yeah, for sure. But you could like the first copy is like, you know, that there's not an argument for that. And you could play the first copy here, but it's, you know, it's kind of whatever. I was more interested in decks like Blink. Like I think Esper Blink should be playing the first Soulstone because you get to the late game more often in Esper Blink, and the ultimate ability is going to win you the game more often in that deck than it is in a deck like this. Cling out. No, Cling just cycles. It's like probably better than Raven Eagle or like any of these cards. It's got to be better than. You can cut Cling if you have a lot of good stuff, but we don't. The G's withdrawals are good. Oh, it is, huh? I harbor no ill will. On the play, Field and Thoughtseize not too bad. I think if one of these temples was another Black Source, we'd probably keep. I think it's just too non-functional of a hand. This hand's definitely better. Just that hand seemed a little closer than it might have looked. Right, put back the basic swamp. Okay. Yeah, let's not tell our opponent we have the field yet, but I guess I will go ahead and Bowmaster ping to play around K command on the Goyf and Scry draw. Yeah, our waste is snow because that's the first waste that when you type waste in the Magic Online box, the first one that shows up is snow covered waste, and I'm not trying to drag drag the other one out there. If I trade Synthesizer with Airship, it's just kind of unnecessary because Airship gives you so much power toughness. Like, I'm mostly not interested in other cards being good when Airship is online because Airship is just enough by itself. Are we playing Break the Ice? Yeah, but a Break the Ice can kill a snow-covered waste the same as it can kill a regular wastes. Do upkeep instead of draw step because of K command. If I did a Worlds draft, who's my player pick one? Probably Gab or Javier. I think I'll go for the Seer this turn. So they don't have Tron. We'll just take the only castable card. Yeah, just like I think depending on how I'm feeling about the day, Gab or Javier. Simon would be a great choice. Paulo, if Paulo's playing, would be a great choice. Lots of good choices, obviously. All right, I do think I need to cast a K command instead of like crumbling in fear at the thought of my opponent drawing Tron. Interesting. Okay, so this gives them enough to cast Sire. Can I K command Sire? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If I draw a land, I can. Do I think Braun could 3-0 a draft pod in that coming PT? I think he definitely could if he spent some time learning the game. I think anybody can. LeBron James certainly seems more than smart enough to learn how to win a draft of Magic. I think they have Devour in their hand with how long they're thinking here. Oh, their opponent's kind of a known tanker, I guess. Do you consider draft to be more or less luck dependent than constructed? I guess the luck is kind of the luck and skill is kind of different in constructed. Like it's hard to say because it affects the game in different ways, right? In in constructed, the card pool is in theory equal. Everyone has access to the same cards, and so in theory that's very fair. Okay, interesting choice. In theory, that's really fair, right? In practice, I do get a Bowmaster trigger. Doesn't seem like I get really rewarded ever by targeting a spawn token. They'll just sack for mana. So I think we'll target this. I guess I would say limited is probably the more skill intensive format between the two. Limited is a format where like your deck building decisions and your drafting decisions have like so many like infinitely branching paths, and games tend to be so like weird and fresh that I would say it's probably limited. I might try to find Break the Ice here. Let's try to find Break the Ice. Although we did get punished for not targeting a spawn token. Nice. Nice ice. Maybe I could have kept no, we don't have, there's no creatures in the yard. We do kill a bunch of our own stuff, of course. This would die if it was snow covered or not. So if they draw a land, they can cast Ugin. I don't know if I'm beating the Ugin despite killing all of their lands here. We'll see. Them chumpling is insanely good for me. Maybe they have a Ugin's Lab or something in their hand. Oh, damn. Why do you play the snow? It's just the first one that pops up. It's not. It's the same. It dies to Break the Ice either way. There's really no downside, but it's the first one that comes up when you type wastes. So the X of the Bowmaster, which is better if they're playing. Oh, the X of the Nethergoyf. Okay, interesting. So it has Sire of the Seven Deaths mystery card. They make mana off the Ugin, 3 mana. And then they cast a Chalice on 2 to get rid of my Bowmaster. Oh, they go after my Orc instead of the Bowmaster. Interesting. Gonna be a good game here. We have a couple Sheoldred Edicts we can draw, and we can play Airship and trigger Airship. Oh, Sire's under the lab, right? So if they do plus the Ugin for a card, I have them dead next turn if they don't have a colorless spell to play. A lot of their card deck is lands or uncastable spells. This is a land, and this is unfortunately a castable spell. So they go after my Bowmaster instead of going after the Phoenix Fleet Airship. So a Bowmaster is a lethal top deck. It's kind of the end of the list. And I guess we could also draw Sheoldred Edict this turn. Or maybe we could just draw like fetch land or field into fetch land or field, but that's probably not going to do it. Yeah, probably not going to do it. That's what we got, though. Seems like maybe we'll lose despite blowing up all of my opponent's lands with them not have just, you know, they had the spawns. Oh, Bowmaster gets countered by Chalice. Good point. Good point. Ice Till Walk the Aeons Airship Fleet. I had Ice Till Walk the Aeons. Again, I just if it's higher mana curve than Airship and it's good when you have Airship going, it's not really that interesting to me. Yeah, this is the same opponent from yesterday. Fetch was the best draw. Yeah, and it was also not enough. All right, I think it's lunchtime. I would be interested in playing a little bit more of this deck, but I'm not really more excited about this than the Yogg or Soul Trader build, I guess. It does seem like the direction you want to go for this archetype, but lunchtime for me. I might need to help pick up the dogs. I guess Worlds is it starting just now? Started like 30 minutes ago. So let's go ahead and raid Doom, who is watching the Worlds. Doom always does these watch parties that I tend to end up doing other stuff instead.